But let's jump into the final segment. This is going to be a little quick one because Darnell Mayberry of The Athletic has been writing about some of these rookies for the Chicago Bulls. And I, was a little bit down on Bulls. I wasn't down on Gafford.
Do you have an Athletic account?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it for my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it. My mom's paying for it. Shout out to my mom.
That's the one thing where I'm like, I pulled up the article and I was like, well, can't read this. I'm not an Athletic member.
I could give you the gist. But Darnell Mayberry wrote about both of the main rookies for the Chicago Bulls. Talked about Coby White standing out in practice and how Daniel Gafford transformed his body in Miami 2 months before the NBA draft, and how he gained like 6 inches on his vertical, and how Coby White, how all these guys are talking about his speed and how his speed's just absolutely killer. So let's talk about the expectations for Coby White and Daniel Gafford, because these guys were made. I think it was 36th pick for Gafford and what was the 7th pick for Coby?
I think so.
Right, something like that.
Draft was so long ago, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm already thinking about this upcoming year's draft.
But with these guys, none of them are going to be starters. We know Kobe's not going to start likely. I mean, he might be when it comes to actual regular season time, but I feel like it's still going to be Satoransky or Chris Dunn.
Close. 7th and 38th.
7th and 38th. Anyways, I do think the starting point guard is most likely going to be either Dunn or Satoransky. I would hope it for Bulls fans.
It's not going to be Arcidiacono?
No, I hope for Bulls fans that it would be Satoransky. I really think he could be an interesting player at that starting 1 spot. And obviously we know at the 5, if Wendell Carter Jr. is healthy, he's going to be starting at the 5 and marking at the 4. So these guys most likely will be coming off the bench, but what expectations do you have for both of these guys? Because looking at their young players, and yes, they drafted Denzel Valentine like years ago, and they have Wendell Carter Jr., Markkanen, all these guys, Chris Dunn as well. I do think that these guys have very high ceilings. So what are your expectations looking at both these players?
I mean, for me with Coby White, the biggest thing is I just want to see how he develops overall this year, because one of the things I'm looking at an article written by Andrew Miller on Pippen Ain't Easy, Fansided, where he kind of looked at 3 realistic expectations for Coby White this year, and I completely agree with the last one. Don't put too much weight on his shoulders too early, because I know this is a team that in the fast break on our playoff predictions, I put the Bulls in the playoffs because I think at the high end we could be a playoff team, but don't expect Coby White to do too much too early. And one of the things I absolutely love about Coby White is there's a quote from him in Yahoo.com where he says, "Since I've been in high school, I liked contact." He said following a practice, I think it was last Friday. In high school, it's how I played, creating contact and getting to the rim. When I started my career in high school, I wasn't really a shooter. I was a get downhill type of guy. Then I developed my shot. Playing physical is something I'm used to and been doing a long time. And the thing that I think Coby White that's going to be beneficial for him, what we saw at Summer League, he had this sick fucking move where he'd drive in, go to the baseline, do this one step, but throw up his entire knee to make an L and just pop that shot and just fade it back. And it would just go in. So it's if he can add that shot more so, because he was hitting it in Summer League, step out to the 3-point line, then it got a little dicey. But he was hitting that step back. The thing I love, though, is that he likes contact, because you can't teach that. You can't teach a guy to, hey, drive in there and get the shit knocked out of you. If you don't like contact, you don't like contact. But if you do, you're not going to get phased if you drive in and Anthony Davis, who the Lakers are going to experiment at the 5, knocks you down playing at the rim. So it's to me, that's what I want. I want to see how physical he is and how much that means to him attacking the basket and how that meshes with a Zach LaVine, because LaVine can be a similar guy.
That's the one thing that I think is going to hurt this team a little bit, is their lack of outside shooting. And I know you guys are going to bring up and how good of an outside shooter Zach LaVine is. I don't think he is a spot-up shooter, though. I don't see him as
he's
that
not
type
a
of role.
dead-eye shooter.
No, he's not a dead-eye shooter, but I mean, he's not a bad shooter anyway. But I don't know if he's a catch-and-shoot guy that I think you would probably need to pair with a guy like Coby White.
Yeah.
And I think largely just with this, I don't know if Boylan's going to be a guy that's going to push his rookies out quicker than fans would like him to, because he did say that Coby cares, he wants to be great, he knows he has to improve upon, or what he has to improve upon. When I met with him before we drafted him, I think that's one thing that stuck out. He has spirit where he wanted to improve, and he knows that he's not a finished product. So I think that's something with that is
he's willing to work.
He's willing to work, but I don't know if Boylan's going to reward that work immediately with playing time. So I don't know if playing time is going to be easy for Coby to find unless he really makes massive strides and is going to force Boylan's hand. I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to see right away from Coby, and that's going to be something that concerns me. Is I don't know if he's going to get a ton of playing time.
Is it going to be a Thibodeau thing though? Like that to me, I don't want to see. Is the thing I hated about Tom Thibodeau is you draft a guy, and of course we never drafted a guy this high in the Thibodeau era, so it really didn't matter that much. But it's like you draft a rookie, be high on him. It's like, oh great, you didn't see him his first year because he never fucking played. And that's the thing too. The thing that I think also plays into it is Chris Dunn. How long is he going to be on this team? Like, does he get moved? Kind of like Justin Holiday did. I'll say it's kind of like one of those trades where it's like we throw him to a team like Memphis, get a maybe second round, get like small things for him. And something like that, moving a guy, opens up then a spot for Coby White to, if the work is there, can now have some playing time. Because instead of Dunn, Zatarans, and Archie, now it's Zatarans. I call him Zatarans because Zataran's the rice. And then Archie, for new guys. And then Archie and then White instead of Dunn.
I don't think people are that stupid. Like, you don't have to keep saying Zatarans. I call him Zatarans because it's Zataran's rice. I think people get it if you say it.
The first time I said it, this time I was like, I should probably explain that because, I don't want to seem like an idiot.
You've been saying for every other Bulls topic.
Yeah, but if someone's brand new, if this is their first time coming into a podcast
Anyways,
show.
And just to give some stats to Zach LaVine as a catch and shoot guy, he isn't bad at it. He took 1.8 attempts last year. He shot 37.3% from doing it, but it was only at 9.9% of his actual three-point attempts. And his massive chunk of it was coming from pull-up. 17.5% of his threes came up on pull-up. So I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to really look to catch and shoot playing off of Coby White. And he is a guy that once he gets the ball, if he does have space, we know how good of a driver and attacker he is at the lane. So I wouldn't be shocked if that isn't a seamless pair right away for Coby White. But something that I did like to hear, and I think it was coming from Wendell Carter Jr. I just want to credit it correctly. It was, let me see. No, I think it was actually, it was from Boylan himself. He's not scared. He's more physical than I thought this early. Like you said, he's a big body. He can play well on the ball and off the ball, which we thought. He shot the ball very well in camp. Where is it? Anyways, it was a thing about his playmaking. Here it is. God damn it, this is a bad fucking segment. But he said he's been impressed with the rookies, praising his shooting and his decision-making, calling him a really good player. So that's something that his decision-making is something that is good to see from a 19-year-old. So I expect him to probably have a slow start, probably up until January, and then maybe they do make a couple moves. But I do think that at that point they're probably going to realize where they're at. And that might be a spot where, hey, we're close to the playoffs. We need a little bit more of a push. Or, hey, we're a little bit out of this. Let's see what our rookie can do. And I think at that point, we're going to see less of Chris Dunn, and possibly we're going to see him moved. And I think we're going to see more of Coby White. I think probably with second unit to start, and maybe with Arcidiacono at the 2, just because Arcidiacono is a very good catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. Not the night we saw him against Philadelphia, but mainly throughout his career, he has been a pretty decent catch-and-shoot guard. So I would really like to see him get minutes. I don't know if he's going to get major minutes until January, and I don't know if he's going to be a starter at any point.
Does he need major minutes before January, though?
No.
Yeah.
He's 19.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But these are our expectations. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying these are my expectations.
Well, I'm throwing it out there because maybe there's someone out there that's like, I want him to get major minutes right away, where I just wanted to kind of reinforce
You can be excited for him.
Yeah, I just want to reinforce that it's not, to me, it's not bad if he doesn't get major minutes until January. It's just, I don't want to go the whole year without him being
even if he doesn't
minutes.
get major minutes the whole year, I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as he's getting consistent minutes, that's the big thing.
Okay.
If you're putting him out for 15 and then taking him out for the whole game, the next game, that's bad.
Good point.
But if you're playing him for 8 every single game. He's getting reps every single game. That's what you need to see. If he's playing 8 to start up until January and then you bump him up to 15 and that's consistent, then that's going to be very good. But then if you go 15, 8, 15, 8, 15, 8, 5, 15, 8, 15, 8, 15, 5, like that's going to fuck with him. And that's going to really stunt his growth. If he even starts getting 20 minutes, like I would be impressed by that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to get a light load to start, and I think they're going to let him see the speed that people play at and where holes are opening up and where he can start making his moves and where he can start attacking. I think that's going to be a big thing for him. With Gafford, at least, though, this guy's likely not going to start, but I do think that they're going to need someone to step up at that 5 role now that Robin Lopez is gone and Felicio's just a garbage can out there. I think that he could be a guy that can, if healthy, can make a major impact on this team, probably more so than Coby White.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it's good because from everything I'm seeing that Wendell Carter is joining the team again, getting back into practice a little bit since that scare of Sam in our Discord throughout when it was like Wendell and Gafford are injured, and I immediately surrendered Cobra and went, oh my God, it's happening again. But that's a possibility too of like if Wendell goes down, who's going to get those minutes? It's going to be Daniel Gafford. And what I saw in Summer League made me confident in Gafford. Like, of course, these are rookies. They're going to have to grow their first year. They're not finished products coming out of college. But like you said, we need a backup center. Like, we're not going to play. It's not like Thad Young's going to be our backup 5. It's not like Luke Cornett is going to be the backup 5. It's, to me, Daniel Gafford is that backup 5, unless there's a rotation where we slide Lowry to the 5 to put Thad Young in at the 4, depending on who else is out there on the floor for the other team. For me, I just think with Gafford, it's just got to be the minutes that you're in to spell Wendell. It's, can you move the ball? Can you be that 5 that's not... Because with Rolo, it was, yeah, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't really a 5 to me that was like, hey, let's push the ball. And he's our perfect 5 for that, where Gafford can run a little bit better. He can move the ball and maybe finish a little bit better. Maybe not. Finish, hopefully, eventually better than what Rolo was doing for us at the 5 when he would spell Wendell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that a big thing that I like about Gafford is I always liked his motor in Arkansas, and I always liked his athleticism. And now, from what that report from Darnell Mayberry was saying, was that he was working strictly on the beach and just trying to improve his athleticism and improve his core muscles. And I think that's going to be big for just his strength in general. But he even talked about how it increased his vertical and increased his ability to stay upright and stay strong when guys are going at him and driving down the lane. And I think with that, his defense is going to be something that I think is going to be pretty impressive to players right off the gate. And I think that that's going to be able to get him minutes right away.
I mean, really the only one that punked him in Summer League was Jackson Hayes, but Jackson Hayes went off in Summer League.
Yeah, I mean, did he punk him?
I mean, Jackson Hayes punked the entire Bulls. Like, he had a phenomenal game and made us look really bad. He made us look worse than we were.
Summer League.
I get it. But I think that's the only time before the regular season I'm going to get to see these guys live.
He didn't get posterized like whoever actually did in that Bulls
died,
game.
murdered in that game.
No. The only people that know him are the family that buried him.
He got murdered.
Yeah, it's dark. I do think that Gafford, though, I'm impressed by his athleticism. And now that hearing that it's getting better is something that's even intriguing me more. And I do really think that he can be an impact guy. Maybe not to the level that Mitch Robinson was last year, because Mitchell Robinson, I think we didn't know what he was going to be.
Yeah, I don't think he's exceeded expectations.
I don't think he's going to be blocking 4 shots a game like Mitchell Robinson was. But I do think that he can be a very impactful bench center for the Bulls this year. And he could be a guy that, Wendell Carter Jr. seemed apparently made out of glass. So if he does get injured, I think he could be a guy that might be able to step in and make an impact for this Bulls team more than Coby White this year.
I hope Wendell stays healthy this year.
Oh, I do too. I like Wendell. I'm just saying, like, it's apparently seems like he's made of glass. So
yeah, I mean, and that could be a reason why they ended up drafting Gafford. One thing I want to ask you though about Coby White is, what do you expect for his 3-point shooting, because one of the things I'm seeing is a lot of people saying, like, 35% from downtown. And part of me is thinking, are we only pulling that number out because that's what he shot in college? Like, we're expecting, 35% from three in college. Why not be a 35% from three in the NBA? And just for a little nugget, guys who are around that range last year, Mikal Bridges was at 33.5. Shai Gilgeous was at 36.7. Trae Young on the entire year was only at 32%. Kevin Knox was at 34. And then Luka was at 37. And then one of the last ones I had was Brunson's. Brunson was at 34.8. So, like, for Coby White, is 35% from three on the season a realistic goal? Or should it be, well, you know what, we're not expecting him to be much of an outside threat. Don't be upset if it's more around that 30-32. Or even maybe
30,
a 29.
I could be worse. Yeah. I think 35 would be a steal, like a very exceeding expectations for any rookie. I don't think it's going to be an attainable goal for a lot of rookies just because they're getting used to the new line. They're getting used to the actual speed of the game. Coby White wasn't that great of a shooter in general.
Unless you're Colin Sexton shooting up almost 300 threes.
Yeah, well, that was different because he had a ton of usage and he was able to play through his downfall. His low side of shooting the ball. He worked on it a lot. I don't think Coby White's gonna hit 35, just mainly because I don't think he's gonna have the volume to get into a rhythm and build up on that. So I don't think it's gonna be an obtainable thing. If he hits 35, that'd be good, but I think he'd be on a low percentage of shots rather than what Colin Sexton was doing or Trae Young was doing last year. Let us know your thoughts on these guys. I think Daniel Gafford's going to actually have a pretty big impact on this Bulls team this year. I think Coby White's going to be limited just a little bit, but not because of their actual talent or anything like that. I think Gafford's ready now just because he's physically built. He's 6'10".
And it goes into that point I said about Coby White. Don't put too much on his shoulders right away. And how do you do that? Don't give him too many minutes, but like you said, keep it consistent throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think it's tough, too, because you already have a scoring guard. That's why I didn't like the pick.
You mean Zach LaVine we already have?
Yeah, you already have a scoring guard, Zach LaVine. I think their play styles overlap a little bit too much, but they'll have to make it work. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. We'll have to see what happens in the 82 games that are about to come. We are about 3 days away from preseason starting in Milwaukee. So let us know your thoughts down in the comments about Coby White and Daniel Gafford, what they'll do for the regular season. We'd love to hear your comments. That's going to do it for Superfans. For Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We want to thank you for listening to the Bears preview. We want to thank you to listen to the manager talk and the Bulls rookie expectations. What do you have to say?
We got our first preseason score of the NBA season, too.
Oh, great.
Pacers beat the Kings 133-131.
There was also the Clippers Rockets as well.
131. Was it?
Yeah, or there's Kings.
It was Kings Pacers and then Franca versus the Nets in the Barclays Center.
Go the day before.
There is no day before. Oh, you're talking about the 30th. Yeah. Shanghai Sharks got demolished by the Rockets.
I swear to God, the Rockets played again as well. Whatever. Maybe I don't know basketball. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. But for Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time. Check out patreon.com/MostOutPodcast.